How can you post out a bag that's in this condition? Hey everyone, cheap versus expensive when it comes to designer bags. I have bought loads, they're on the floor around you, loads of really cheap designer bags, like really cheap. Some of them, I haven't opened them yet, so this is going to be a first impression, but some of them, when I saw them on the website, they actually border on copies. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a game where you guess the price of the cheap one and also guess the price of the more expensive one. The try-on bits in this video are all sponsored by Lily Silk, who have gifted me the blouses and the blazer that you're going to see in here. They're actually all old items, and I'm doing this because I want you to see what things look like after, in some cases, a couple of years with these items. I never want to annoy anyone with sponsorships either, and I hope that you don't mind. I've linked to each item that I'm wearing below. They've also given me a 15% off coupon code, and because everything's been given to me, the code and the coupon code are not commission paying. I'm going to give these cheap bags full on time of day. I'm going to style them through this. I'm going to show you them what they look like, because you know, at the end of the day, not everyone has got the crazy money that it requires to buy these bags. And again, based on the pictures that I've seen on the website, some of these bags I probably would definitely have considered when I was in my late teens, to get the look of things like the Lady Dior without spending the money, because I didn't have the money. If you want a bag that looks really like the original but has had a slight change to the logo made, you need to check out River Island. We are going to go through and see what it looks like. Oh my god, that is bad. It smells as well. First impressions of this. This is meant to be a Lady Dior inspired bag. First impressions are that it smells quite bad. Through the plastic, it smells, it's got that kind of plasticky smell to it. I'm gonna let you guess how much this is. This is pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let me tell you, for the money, I wasn't expecting really good quality. But that is particularly bad, I think. Some of the problems are with it looking is that it's crushed, which I know you'll be saying, well, it came in the post. Yeah, but it's really badly crushed in a way that I don't think you're gonna get that dent out of it. This is a Lady Dior. It's bad. I think if you're watching this and you want the Lady Dior and this is something that you would go for, and there's nothing wrong with that, I would suggest that you buy this in a store as opposed to buying it in the post, because I've obviously purchased it online and it's turned up squashed, whereas I think if you get to go into a store, you should be able to buy one that's not quite so crushed, because I'm not convinced that the crushing is going to come out of this now. Regardless of the price, I would expect something more than that, because it wasn't that cheap. In my opinion, it wasn't that cheap, and if this was my budget and if this turned up, I'd be really upset about it. Guess the price of this, then guess the price of this. Leave your answers below. Do you know what I might do? I'm going to turn this into a competition. Whoever gets the right prices, I'm going to pick at random, and then I will message you on YouTube and tell you to get in touch on email, and then I will send you a prize. That's quite fun, isn't it? And no cheating. You're not allowed to go and look on the websites, okay? No cheating. If any of you know it to the dot, then I will know that you've had a sneaky peek. Let's have a look at the next bag. This is a Prada copy. That's what I thought anyway when I saw it. Here we've got it here. Can you see it's trying to be the re-edition? It doesn't smell. It's not a bad version of it. What I don't mind about this is that I've always thought with fakes, it's one thing if you buy a fake and you know you're buying a fake, but it's another thing when you're being sold a fake and you think it's genuine and you're paying real money. Like, I see it on eBay quite a lot. I don't know how many of you see the same thing, but I've seen before bags that just about passed as genuine, but there's a few things you're like, yeah, that's not because of blah blah blah. And then what they do is they price them at a really high price, but at a price that's like £1,000 less than the real thing. So you look at it and you think that's a good price. It can't be fake because they want £4,000 and the real one that I want's 5, but that's part of it. But I think for any of you watching who are into the Prada nylon range, this is not so bad to go for. I will tell you one thing, the Prada nylon outer material, I thought that would be really easy to replicate because it's nylon. This is pretending to be it, but it's not. This feels more like a silky satin. And then this round here, this is all faux leather. It kind of also feels a little bit Louis Vuitton. And I'm going to compare it with this, which is a hard one to compare it with because this is the terry toweling version. But the structure on this is good. It's not been crushed. Honestly, that Lady Dior version's awful. This actually isn't so bad. Although this type of bag, this shape of bag doesn't exist. This actually, I'm looking at it on the camera, this reminds me of a shape of bag that I think was around in the 2000s. But what River Island have done quite cleverly is that they have made an oblique pattern using their own lettering. This also comes with a pouch on the top, so it's exactly like that last one that I showed you where there is a crossbody strap. This hangs on there. I think with all of their bags, I was surprised when I was looking through the website and there were so many that I was seeing and I was actually saying, oh my god, that's like that. You can see what that's trying to be. With this, I don't mind it so much. Like, I'm going to tell you now, the quality on this is shocking. Like this purse thing, I'm not going to lie, the quality on this is really bad. Look at that purse thing, that's all crumpled as well, and it looks narrower at the bottom than it is at the top. I mean, I know it's not an expensive bag, but it kind of needs to line up slightly. I think that they have gone as far as they can with this before it starts to look like an outright copy. And one of the things they've done is they've made a bag that isn't one that Dior do, although, and I wish I showed you it, months ago they had a saddle bag on there that was, I think it was a bit smaller, but it was a saddle bag without doubt. I think what they've done here with the oblique is they've gone as far with it as they can before before Dior can have a say on it, really. I'm just looking at it now. I'm really surprised how far they've gone with this. Very surprised. Let me show you. This is a Prada Inspired Bag. They've even got the triangle motif on the front there. This, when I saw it, it reminded me massively of Prada. Exactly like with that pink version there. This looks like nylon, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels a bit more satiny, although this feels more nylon than that pink one, weirdly. Let's take a look on the inside. One thing I will say is, if you are traveling, I do think that this is a good option. This is one that, as I just mentioned, I don't think it's terrible. And out of the River Island bags, this one and the pink one, I feel like the other two, definitely that Lady Dior, forget it. So this could be used as luggage or as your gym bag. On the subject of dupes, this is a Balmain dupe and I think it's around about £120. This is probably about 2 years old now, and it's been, I actually dry cleaned this and it's been dry cleaned a load of times. I feel that out of the dupes I've seen, this is one of the better quality. This is actually a silk mix, but it feels very thick. It's not kind of how you would imagine silk to be, quite flimsy. Anyway, this would be a really good travel bag, but take a look at this. You even get with it, let me straighten this out. You've got to guess how much as well, don't forget that when you're observing all of this. You get with it a wash bag that's got the that bit there. I think as a travel bag, that's really good. I think for the money, which you're not allowed to go and look at, you have to guess. I think for the money, this is good. That's not too bad. Have a look at this. Now this is good quality, but let me tell you why. It is Kate Spade. Not going to tell you how much this was either, but let me just say it was quite a lot more than the bags from River Island. This actually does feel like nylon, and it feels very, very close to the real thing on Prada actually from a quality perspective. The strap handle is not as wide as the actual handles on the Prada bags. So on Prada you can see it's quite a bit wider. I mean, it's really minimal. And also the bag is not exactly the same size. You see the difference? The Kate Spade one is a bit bigger. I'm actually really surprised with this. I think this is really good. It also comes in pink. Out of the bags that I've shown, and I've still got 2 more which I actually think are going to be really good dupes, but out of the bags that I've shown, this so far is the one that I think is most worth it. There is a really big price difference, by the way, between those River Island bags and this one. But this one is still, the only clue I'm going to give you is it's under £200. There we go, that's all I'm going to give you. Should I have even given you that? I don't know. But I think this is very well priced. If you've been wanting to get the Prada, but you're thinking, could be a bit of a trend bag, or you know, it's over £500, I think it's over 700 now, is it really worth the money? I think this is quite a good way to go because you're still getting that style and shape for a lot less. If you've ever considered either of these 2 bags, I've got 2 dupes right now, haven't opened them, but I think they're going to be pretty near it. So this is the Bulgari Serpenti bag. This is the Chanel Classic Flap in the largest size. Both are not cheap bags, but I've got a couple here which I'm hoping the quality is going to be amazing on them, and I'm hoping you're going to like them. They are both from Aspinall. Aspinall stuff, by the way, is really nice. It comes really nicely wrapped. Here it is. You can get this in a larger size, okay? I should have brought in the smaller Chanel that I've got, but this is a Chanel, in my opinion, as close as you can get to it dupe. The leather smells amazing. This is proper leather. Take a look at this. If you have been considering a Chanel bag, but you know in your life you are never going to spend that money, but you like the concept of a flap bag, this, when I looked online, I thought it looked similar-ish. Specifically, take a look at the caviar on there. So this is kind of caviar leather. We do a quick comparison. They are very close, don't you think? Very close in terms of that texture. This is lovely on the inside. So I actually have the larger version of this, but in cream, and it doesn't have the caviar type leather. I use it for work, and it's a brilliant bag. I think as well, this rectangle closing lock makes it feel quite like the reissue. And if you do want something that looks even more like that Chanel Jumbo, get the larger size of this. The larger size, I have measured it before, the larger size of this bag is exactly the same dimensions as the Jumbo. Do you want to see the last cheapest bag? It's another one from Aspinall. I really like this brand. This brand are a really good all-rounder, particularly if you don't love large logos as well, but you like the current shapes of bags that are out there, but you don't really want to buy them. Similar-ish to this, I thought, is this. They're different on the side, whereas this one's like an accordion kind of design. This one isn't. This one you can get in so many colours as well, so if you do like this shade, I think from memory there are ones on there that are nearer this, and they also come out with seasonal ones, so you might find at the moment that the colours available are less like this, which is a summer colour, and they're kind of more like this, more like maroons and navies. Let me demonstrate something as well. The lock on the front, the shape of it is similar to the silhouette of the serpent head on the front of the Bulgari bag. And if we take a look on the inside, I'm also noticing these here, which is where you hook the strap through, which is exactly, let me show you here as well. Another similarity, the two loops where the chain handles go through. Oh, do you know what? This bag kind of is slightly concertina. Look when you open it. Can you see these here? So it opens out a lot wider than it actually is. God, this feels so good. The leather is really buttery soft on this. It's also got a rear pocket on the back that is magnetic closing. With all of these bags, as I mentioned earlier, this isn't actually a bash on any of the bags in question except the Dior one, which was terrible. It's more comparing cheap versus expensive. And the bags that are less cheap, being these, their quality, I would say, is on par with the more expensive ones. Not all of them. I think some of the more expensive ones, their quality actually does feel elevated from this. And I think it depends on the bag as well, because that other bag that looked a bit Chanel-like, that no way does that feel as good quality as Chanel. But you wouldn't expect it to, because it's like 5% of the price or something. Final verdict. The River Island bags, the quality is really bad, but I want to know what you will think about the prices, because they were all really cheap. So the quality is what I imagined it was going to be in the first place. If you're on a lower budget at the moment and you are inspired by designer bags, I do think River Island is a good place to check out, because I know some of you will be watching and you might frown on some of the River Island bags. I'm kind of quite neutral on it, really. I think that it is a good place to look if you're wanting that look of certain bags, but I do think go into a store and buy them if you can, because the ones that have turned up in the post, a lot of them, not all, but some of them are really crumpled, like that Dior looking one, and definitely, well, both Dior looking ones, the Oblique and the Lady Dior, look really battered. So I would go into a shop to look at both of those and to get them if you want. My personal favourites are the Aspinalls. I think that they're a really good go-between, and they're good quality leather. I've had Aspinall bags. I've got one in particular that I've had since 2016, and I use it for work. So I use it 5 days a week, except for when I've got like a Senrev bag that fits my laptop. I'm either using one or the other, and it's still in great condition. So the Aspinall bags do really work.